What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle, where I am getting chewed on by a zombie that jumped me as I loaded into the game right there. I started this one off quick, like, I'm ready to go. I'm excited about some Dying Light right now, and I just want to play the game, like, a lot. No, please don't. Please stay away from me. You will note that we have a very, very large cudgel, something that might be wielded by a troll or perhaps some kind of ogre berserker. It's essentially just a bunch of concrete on some rebar. It's got a lot of durability though, and it one-shots enemies. Ooh, cigarettes. Fun fact, this guy did not die of zombification. He died of meth cigarettes. That's what this is your body on meth cigarettes. Yep, thank you for that, Heisenberg. Let's go back over this way. I think the big dude respawns back up in there, but I'm not going to worry about it. Right now, we are in the twilight period of the map. During the twilight period or the dusk period, the zombies actually become a lot more docile. One of the things that you'll notice, a lot of them tend to stargaze, and if you don't know what stargazing is, essentially stargazing, reptiles do it when they're really, really sick. It's where an animal or a biological entity just like stares up at the sky or like any bright object. You can jump off of, by the way, I figured I'd mention this, you can jump off that up there onto the top of this warehouse, and then once you're on top of the warehouse, there's a couple of different slots in there. I got in there, but I got stuck, like I wasn't able to get out, and so I don't know, I haven't fiddled with it much more, but it looks like there's like secret loot or some kind of goodness going on in there. I just really haven't been able to verify it in my free time. You get stuck and then I quit out and I tried a couple other things, but there's definitely loot crates in there in some of the areas, but they all seem to be very cordoned off from one another. I think that for right now, give this guy what for? We get 39 XP every time I deck one of these dudes with that thing. That sounds reasonably okay. Honestly, I think I'm just going to stick to what the game says for right now. I'm going to head for a safe house. In the previous episode, and just in case you jumped into the 4th or 5th episode, you know, because some people skip around a little bit. That's why I do these little recaps, is because I know a lot of people skip around. Essentially, we had set up a bunch of booby traps so that Spike could ambush, I guess, well, no, so that Spike could hold off the zombies so that one of his raid teams could go out and get an airdrop. The airdrops are being dropped into Haran as a sort of, I guess, GRE public aid. It's like first aid kits and food and like survival supplies and things like that, so that they continue existing without, I mean, if you can continue existing while zombies are trying to munch on you, I suppose you can exist anywhere. But anyways, the general game plan was to set up these traps because there's a rival faction in the city that's trying to recover these as well. The rival faction doesn't operate at night though because it's too dangerous. We're open. I sincerely doubt that. I mean, the door might be open. Maybe it's just labeling the fact that the door is open. Maybe that's it. I want whatever's in this cash register, so $118 works for me. Surely nobody that comes back home is going to miss that. Let's see if maybe we can get up out of here and get to a safe zone. Ooh, no zombie. Oh my god. I will say this for the game, it does look good. It's honestly, it's a pretty game to look at. It's got a lot of amazing aesthetics going for it. So much more so than, like, for example, Dead Island was a game that I felt like was just kind of like weirdly ugly. I don't know how to describe it other than that, like, sure. Oh shit.
The fuck is that? Hey Doc, this is Kyle Crane.
Crane, what can I do for you?
I just saw this freaking weird zombie. He's covered in big green blisters. It hauled ass as soon as it spotted me. You know anything about it?
Not enough information, I'm afraid. But if you see another one, do let me know, will you?
I will do my best because I am a public helper. Let's see. Oh, we missed the 230V. God, that was embarrassing. There's blueprints all over the place, so if you're wondering what those are, they're blueprints for special weapons. Just like you can make utilities and like throwing weapons and explosives, you can also upgrade your weapons with elemental affinities and things like that, just in case you want to get your Final Fantasy on. Alright, so I suppose more accurately, your Bravely Default on, I guess, for right now, since that was like Squeenix's last foray into JRPGs, I think. Anyways, you can add elemental affinity to your weapons. That's pretty much it. Like, you can add electrical, fire, chemical, and there's some other ones, but we'll have to get those as we go through the game because I don't remember what they are. We shall wait until morning. Obviously, this job doesn't pay well enough. We gotta wait tables all night long just to make sure we have cash to spend during the daybreak.
Spike, what's going on?
Something bad happened. We need to talk.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay. And so there it is, we got the prologue done, we can now go into co-op mode. I talked to Mathas briefly on Twitter about doing co-op for this game and just like seeing what happens. We'll see where that goes though. I am interested. He proposed it and I was like, sure, that sounds pretty cool. Let's go ahead and I really want to do the PvP mode too, where you can like zone. Apparently, you can zone into other people's games like Dark Souls style as a zombie, and then just try and kill them, and that's just like a thing that you can do. Either way, we need more plastic right now. Plastic for all of you fans of the wow, somebody left the burner running. You think that would run out of gas eventually, but it's still sitting here just going off. It's gonna give them a nap. I like how they textured the smoke stain into the ceiling. That's like a small attention to detail that I actually enjoy. If you leave your burner on for too long, it'll actually burn the wall or whatever. I had that problem at my other place, actually with my bathroom, where water vents, I guess not even water vents, but the location where the steam would travel up the wall was like it wasn't predetermined, but it was so consistently traveled by the steam. Get out of here. Did that not kill him? I was gonna say that better have killed him. I mean, if it uses up all my stamina. There you go. Get out of here. One-armed bandit trying to steal all me bits. Let's go ahead and grab that right there. I'd like to clear everything out right here so that I can loot this truck. It's only an easy lockpick. You kind of want to wind up with the with the rebar hammer. You kind of want to like wind up early with it so that when you get up in their face, it should still kill them even though you're out of stamina, I think. Oh no. See, I don't even know where all these are coming from right now. They're all over the place. No, my rebar hammer is slightly broken. It has less rebar. I guess it could be used as kind of like a very, very large fork at this point. But much beyond that, we probably want to ditch it pretty soon. Have we cleared out pretty much this? What the hell? Like a paratrooper zombie. What? Where did that even come from? I mean, I'd be like, hallelujah, it's raining man. But I'm not so happy about the fact that it's raining man-eating men. I feel like there's one extra just sort of like modifier right there that makes this whole situation that much worse. I feel like everybody here is in marathon. They are. I think they mentioned something about that in the storyline, actually. All these guys are in marathon clothing, I think, because like some fantasy variation of the Olympics came to Haran and it was like a big deal. And that's part of the reason why there's so many like Australians and Americans and like people that are not necessarily from Haran. Somebody mentioned that the first time in my original press playthrough. They were like, so why does everybody here have like British accents and like English accents and like random accents that are not like Middle Eastern? And I was like, I think it's due to the fact that there's actually a major sporting event going on right here. It's like the World Cup or something like that. There's like a big deal going on right now with people from all over the world coming in to watch a football game or something like that, as I recall. But anyways, zombies destroyed. Mission accomplished. Let's go back and talk to Spike because obviously we got to do storyline stuff. There we go. You should explore a lot in this game though, seriously. Oh, that's the dead lady we found in the first episode. Let's get off the beaten trail for a minute. How about... Wait, there's a what? A golden zombie statue. Alright. Seems pretty swell. I think I can add that to my collection. I don't think I'm worried about it. Sounds good. Why is everything so smoky right now? I don't know. This happens every now and again on burn days where I live because there's a lot of orchards and farms around where I live. And on burn days, the entire city will look like this sometimes. A burn day is when farmers are allowed to like set all the excess like roughage material on their farms on fire to dispose of it. In case you're wondering what a burn day is. That's all that it is. Not to be confused with a burn notice, which, as I understand, if you get a burn notice, it means that you probably aren't working for the CIA anymore. And in general, you're probably going to have a TV series that's going to run 8 or 9 seasons and have Bruce Campbell involved. I'm okay with anything involving Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is one of my favorites. That guy is just so, like, B-movie that he just can't be stopped. Like, seriously. Bruce Campbell is just, like, amazing in the most terrible way. Like, I don't even know how to... Like, anybody that's... Ooh, yeah, combo kill right there. Anybody that's into Bruce Campbell will know what I mean. Like, he just makes every movie better by nature of him being there. There you go. Ooh, just have a seat. Have a seat. A pointy seat. Let's see here. We got $38. Oh, that guy right there. He was the high roller of the group. If I could do math, I would add those together. No, it was 70. It was 70. I can do math. Don't send me emails about how I need to refocus my life. It's okay. I understand. Let's go ahead and we'll put this heavy rebar back in for, let's see, we've got a 27. I kind of just, oh, these are both identical. Well, never mind then. I shall no longer subject this menu to such scrutiny. Let's continue. I like how we have a valve on our little weapon right now. We can be like, icky, icky. And like, we can turn it on over to full ass whooping if we want to. Or we can put it on moderate ass whooping if we're just not in the mood today. We got like a slight headache. Haven't been able to salvage any aspirin. Ooh, dried fruit. Hell yeah. I love dried fruit, but honestly, I brought this up in my first playthrough. Dried fruit, I have one of those really, really like hit or miss relationships with because I spend a lot of time on the field as a geologist. And so, or I spent before I started being a YouTuber, I guess. I suppose that I say that with some sadness, actually. I don't go out in the field at all anymore. I haven't gone out in the field for about a year and a half, to be fair, ever since like YouTube went full time. But anyways, back when I used to, one of the staples of every camp is dried fruit and like a whole bunch of nuts. Dried fruit and a ton of like random peanut mix, essentially. I'll make that a little bit less precarious so that people will be like, ha, he said that he had assorted nuts in his camp. Anyways, to be a little bit less precarious, peanut mix and things like that, because they're high calorie and low weight foods. Like, you don't have to carry a lot of them, but like a packet of them will give you 400 or 500 calories so that you can get back in the game. If you get those crazy hunger pangs after like a half a day's worth of hiking up and down hills, like a 70-pound backpack on your back. So, dried fruit I have a precarious relationship with, simply based on the fact that, like, dried fruit, it's mostly apricots, actually. It's dried apricots. Every now and again, somebody wouldn't get, like, dried fruit mixed. They would only get apricots. And by every now and again, I mean probably every other trip. And so sometimes you would end up eating just, like, nothing but dried apricots for, like, days at a time. Like, you would have a big meal at night, but for breakfast you'd have dried apricots. In the evenings, you'd have dried apricots for a snack when you got back to camp. And then finally, somebody would cook something once you got around to like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. We had like a giant, I guess, folding stove or whatever, and you'd cook for the entire camp. We all took turns. I preferred making chili and or tacos. Chili and tacos, not to be messed with. You could put I think tacos are one of the perfect foods, because really it doesn't matter what you put in a taco. As evidenced by the Choco Taco and also all other fish tacos, I mean, you can basically put any type of food inside of a taco and it gets better. You just throw that thing in a shell, and instantaneously it becomes more unique and more delicious. I don't know what it is about tacos, but frankly, I can't imagine growing up someplace where there were no tacos. It makes no sense to me. Because, like, I don't know, I think if you're, like, in California, Arizona, basically, actually, I'd say most of the U.S., to be honest, has a lot of Mexican food. Lots and lots of Mexican food. But especially, I don't know how it is for other people, but if you're in, like, the Pacific Southwest, like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, etc. Like, there's I can't walk down the street without seeing 5 Mexican restaurants, and I eat at every single one of them. Maybe not back to back, but definitely, secondly, I don't know if I could eat back to back. Eating back to back, why would you have to eat back to back? Is it dangerous at the Mexican place? I think that would be the only reason to go back to back Army of Two style. That was like the coolest thing ever the first time that I saw it. I really liked Army of Two. I should probably buy the sequel, but I bet it's bad, huh? I bet somebody's gonna pop and be like, oh my god, those games were so terrible. They were the worst thing I've ever played in my life. Let's see here. It's okay. People are allowed to have preferences. We don't have to... this thing only has 1 repair left in it. That is unfortunate. Alright, well, as we step ourselves aside to repair our pipe of brain smashing... Pipe of Brain Smashing has a +2 modifier, if you're wondering where that goes in the DM guide. +2 modifier to just basically attack rolls and damage. It's a nice thing to have around. Not really the best thing for hunting kind of like your more high-level mobs like liches and dragons and things like that, but it works. It'll get the trick done for your normal rudimentaries. Let's get at it. There we go. It'll work for the nerps, if you know what I mean. I feel like these stairs are really working to my benefit right now. Some games I feel like the enemy has an advantage when they have the low ground, which is not necessarily super accurate to real life. Like, you always want the high ground in real life if you're fighting with melee weapons. Gives you easier access to the head, which is exactly why I'm enjoying myself right now. Is that like a sociopathic, psychopathic thing to say when you're bludgeoning things in the head and killing them? That you're really, really enjoying yourself? Because I am, to be honest. I'm just standing on some stairs smacking zombies in the face, and it seems to be working out okay. And it's all for the goal. The only thing I'm working towards... Oh, he fell on his head. There are many, many other appendages you could have fell on, pal, that would have been a lot more fruitful than... And you broke my weapon. You broke my weapon. But you didn't break my heart. That's okay. Don't go breaking my heart. It's alright. My achy, breaky heart? I don't know. I just don't think he'll understand. I grew up with a family that, like... Listen, my mom anyways. It's my mom's fault. My mom listens to a lot of country music, or at least went through like a 10, 20-year country phase. Not so much anymore, but my mom listened to a lot of country music when I was kids, and I think that's due to the fact that my granddad listened to a lot of, like, old school country, like Marty Robbins and stuff like that. I do like old school country, like Marty Robbins, you know, stuff from back in the... I think Johnny Cash could be roped into that group, kind of. Like, he started out a little bit more Western. I think I got a little bit more rockabilly and rock and roll as time went along. But anyways, I don't know anything about music. Maybe I should stop talking. Nonetheless, I like old country. It's just the new country. It doesn't do anything for me. Let's see here. That's right, to get back inside Spike's base, we gotta jump up in Meow. This is bid... I feel like Wile E. Coyote might be hunting me or something. He's sitting on top of that high rise with an Acme anvil waiting to bash my head in.
Spike, what's up?
Crane, first of all, you did great out there. From now on, if you need something, come see me. And to start with, Here's a UV flashlight and a remote control. You run up on a volatile, give him a face full of UV, or lead him into a trap which you can trigger with that remote. You got it?
Got it.
Perfect. Now for the bad news. Despite your efforts, Brecken's mission failed.
Ah, shit, is he okay?
He's alive, but you need to get back to the tower. Jay called all the scouts in, and that means you.
Okay. Wonder if I'll finally get to meet Brecken in person.
Brecken sounds like, just from his name, Brecken sounds like the kind of individual that's just like not to be messed with. I don't know. He's got one of those very, very consonant-heavy last names, like Brecken. Like it sounds intimidating. Like he sounds like the guy that would be in charge. We got the athlete's outfit. We should probably actually check that out if we could find us. Actually, there's a safe house right over here. In there? I think there might be. Let me jump back up and onto here. Where's the safe house bit of this location? Additionally, where's the outhouse? I mean, this might sound juvenile, but I don't see an outhouse around here anywhere. I'm like, oh, it's the communal shit barrel. Don't worry about it. It's the booty barrel. You just mount that thing on up and get her done. I'm like, oh, okay, that works. Whatever. Let's see here. There's got to be a... It said that this is a safe zone. There's got to be a duffel bag or something around here so I can check out my new clothing. Check out the new duds. Flash the new kicks. See if I can go out in public now. Be looking good. Be looking fly. Just in case. You know, leave a pretty corpse. That's a motto that I think I could stand by. If we're going to die today, meh. We might as well look beautiful when we come back as a zombie. But like, that is the finest, most gorgeous zombie I have ever seen. Down here in the creeks, you should probably swing through the creeks every now and again, or the crick, depending on where you are in the United States. Some people be like, we gotta go down to the crick. You know, same thing. Different halves of my family say it differently. Anyways, you find these flowers right here. That's the only point of what I'm talking about right now. You get toxic lichens. Occasionally the vendors will have either sales and or if they're not having a sale, what they'll have is they'll have like a buyback type thing where they'll pay you double the, I guess demand will be high for a particular object. There we go. I can word this a little bit better using all of the constraints of my vocabulary. So that I can talk about the economics of Dying Light. Anyways, in Dying Light every now and again there will be specific items that the vendors really, really want and they will pay you a ton of money for them. The flowers are very, very frequently that item. So if you just walk around with a backpack full of like 25 flowers for a while, I can virtually promise you eventually you'll run across a vendor who will allow you to sell said flowers for like $100 a pop. And it's a great way to flesh out your wallet just in case it's not looking so meaty and or beefy. Let's jump up here. Now it's got me thinking about Rob Dyrdek's dogs who are adorable. Medium beefy. If you've never watched Fantasy Factory, I highly recommend it. So actually you have to start out in the right order. You have to watch Robin Big first. Robin Big is funny. So if you don't know who Rob Dyrdek is a professional skateboarder. He's retired now, and I think he owns like a big chunk of DC shoes and like a couple other skate companies now. So he's like a multi-bajillionaire essentially. He's a mogul. He owns like a bunch of toy like companies and things like that at this point. All related to skateboarding, of course. He has like his own skateboard company, his own shoe line, his own like, you know, a lot of the stuff at PacSun owned by Rob Dyrdek, essentially. Like a lot of the brands there anyways. But Rob Dyrdek had this show called Robin Big where it's him and his bodyguard and they just like have adventures every day. They just have like rich guy adventures. And essentially, think about giving like a 14-year-old like an endless amount of money, and that's essentially what the show is. Like Robin Big is mostly him just messing around on like a day-to-day basis, and then they have like a concocted storyline for each episode where like one of them they adopt a turtle. And like they're training their adopted turtle for a turtle race, and it's just, it's like real. It's like kind of reality TV, I guess, but it's definitely sort of scripted, and it's really, really funny. And so after that, they did a show called Fantasy Factory, which I think actually is still on the air, maybe. Fantasy Factory is a show where essentially, if you imagine giving a 14-year-old an endless supply of money, that's basically what Fantasy Factory is. It's Rob Dyrdek just buying dumb shit and deploying it in this giant warehouse that he has. And just like good times ensue. It's pretty amazing. It's hilarious. Oh, I forgot to get stuff from the other quartermaster. Now I'm disappointed. Not to be confused with getting stuffed by the other quartermaster. That doesn't happen till Friday evening. And he's got to buy me a drink first. Let's go up the elevator and be on our way. My head just got randomly itchy on one side.
Finish my job for Spike.
I don't know why that is. I don't know. I'm gonna skip the loading screens right here because I don't really feel like it's pertinent. We've got the storyline like right in front of us right now, so we don't need that to be bussing on in every 5 seconds and ruining our vibe. You ruined my groove. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think they're report meeting. Hold on. What? Did I mess this up somehow? I think I may have messed this up somehow. I love that animation that they do when you transition through. It's got like that black dripping material. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's a minor thing, but I enjoy it. I like how it's smooth, actually, because sometimes with those animations, they look weird. It's strange that the load time would be so long for some place that we just were. Just load that thing into memory. I got like 50 gigs. It's all good. Just load that thing in. It doesn't matter. Did I forget to talk to like the guard down here or something? Is that what it is? Oh, I've got to report to the tower. Okay, that's how I messed up. I wasn't paying attention very well. I won't say if that's outside the ordinary for me. Are you dead or are you still good? Okay, you're dead.
Crane here.
Report.
I'm about to have a meeting with the tower's leader.
Acknowledged. Confirm his identity and contact us immediately.
I love how they have that industrial music come in. It's kind of like this industrial chemical music that they have come in the background whenever you talk to the GRE. It's really, really sinister. That's what I like about it, is you can tell that there's definitely something going on with the GRE. My guess is that we're going to become disenfranchised from our mission as we go through. It just seems like the sort of thing that'll happen. Oh, maybe they're marking the way into the shelter right there. I didn't see the arrows on top of the other cars. I think if you land on a car, you should be okay. Yeah, if you land on a car, you're good. And I think we actually have some level ups too, so I'll allocate those as soon as we get back into the tower. Let me know how you feel about the pacing of this series. Like, do you want to see free roaming? Do you want to see storyline? Like, I really have no idea how to approach a free roaming game. The only one that I've ever done before was Red Faction Guerrilla, and in that game I tried to like basically spruce it up a little bit every now and again, kind of get some piney flavor thrown into the series. Just every episode or two by doing it, like, I would do a main storyline mission, then I would do like a bunch of sideline sort of episodes, I guess. And I would just alternate back and forth. So you got like a main storyline episode, then you got like an episode that had 2 or 3 side missions, and then I just bounced back and forth. There was no real exploration in that game though, so this kind of adds a whole new element because we have to do like climbing puzzles, and there's all kinds of good stuff in this game that you can level up by doing, and we're not even there yet. That's the best part, is that like we haven't even dove into like the meat and potatoes of the game yet. This guy is a vendor, and I think it's a really, really good idea right now for us to stock up. It's also a decent plan to see what he wants. So typically the thing that he wants will be in a, there you go, right there, the requested item. He wants fluorescent shrooms, so I guess he's trying to see the world in a more colorful light at the moment, but we don't have any of those. I know where you can get them, but we don't have them right now. They tend to be down by the creek. When you get further out towards the other faction's base, they're down in a creek near like the sewer system over there. The stuff in this game does grow in specific locations, and you should start memorizing it as you play the game too. It'll make your life easier. I don't want the conducting fluid. It's not that useful. Let's sell off all of our vendor trash first. Okay, and then did they add a slide? Oh, they did. Before, this didn't work. You couldn't click and slide this, but they added it. Previously, in the press demo, I had to use anyways WASD in order to get it to work, but either way, it looks nice. I like that. I'm really, really happy that they decided to make some of the cosmetic changes that they did. One of these is broken, and I don't want it anymore. You can't repair here, so once something's broken, you might as well get rid of it as scrap. We don't have the levels to buy any of the unfortunate legendary weapons right now. I would love to get my hands on a cricket bat and put some red on somebody, but unfortunately we don't have the room for right now. I'll probably take, we have $4,500. I'll probably take the claw hammer. I'll probably take, what's the durability on that? I'm looking at durability right now. That's really the only stat that I'm fishing for at the moment. We'll go for that right there. Let me get rid of a couple of these green pipes then. We'll just kind of move some of these things along. And that should give us a decent supply of both main hand weapons and stuff for our backpack, just in case things get rowdy. I think I'll probably stop the episode off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Dying Light. One that I think will probably be a very, very long, very, very extensive series, but one that I'm really happy to present to all of you. It's a game that I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. So I'll see y'all later. Hi-do out there, everybody. I'll see you next time.